Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Thursday, May 28. The Mayor-Motley administration officially rolled out the Barbados Optional Savings Scheme, or BOSS program, at a news conference this evening. Government Senior Economic Advisor Dr. Kevin Greenidge outlined how the National Meet-and-Turn Plan, designed to plug a massive financial hole resulting from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, will work. Dr. Greenidge assured workers will not lose out in the optional arrangement, which will see a portion of their salaries placed in government savings bonds.
This time we are saying we give you the majority in cash, and we record that above in the fiscal, and we give you a small portion. I will show you the amounts, say 10% in a bond. That I don't record as an expenditure, I record as debt. And therefore that extra space, we can then repurpose towards capital. And so the worker is getting the same amount. Now what about this bond? Is it attractive? The bond that we have come up with is a 4-year bond. So it is 4 years. It pays an annual interest of 5%, which in this current environment here, regionally, internationally, is a very good interest rate. Most of our debt is in that region, 5%. It pays, not only, you don't have to wait till 5 years because it pays interest every 6 months. So the worker who invests in the bond is receiving some income through the period. In addition, to even make it even more attractive, we have waived the withholding tax on the interest earned. Usually if you invest in any instrument, put your money in bank or any shares or anything, you pay a withholding tax. That is also waived, so you don't have to worry about that.
The scheme targets workers employed by central government and state-owned enterprises who work for more than $3,000 monthly.
We recognize that persons that earning less income, the lower income, we like you to spend more of that income on their normal monthly expenditure needs, or let you to have enough to save. So we're not going to put their amount we paid, full salary, in cash. However, they may opting to say, give me, because of some reason I have a bit more change, maybe you are not in the stage you're paying mortgage, give me an extra $200 of my net salary in a bond, and we will accommodate that. That with persons, 36,000 net income would mean a person earning about less than 3,000 a month. The next band is between 36 and 50,000. That is a person earning between 3,000 and 4,166 a month. That person will get 93% of their salary in cash and 7% in a bond. If they want. You can opt in to say, well, I don't want the bond, I need my cash now. It's my money, I want it right now, I got some expenses. And immediately before you get it on payday, that bond will be converted into cash and they will get it in their bank account. So they walk with the same amount. And I won't go through mechanism what happens now, but that is how it will work. They may say I want more. For some reason I want more than 7%, and there you will accommodate that also. Now, and then the other band is between 50,000 and 100,000, which is $4,166 and $8,133 a month. They will get 88% of their salary in cash and 12% in a bond. Again, they may opt in for more, less, none. That will be accommodated. In other words, they will get convert and stay in their bank account before the time, before payday. And finally, the last band, over 100,000 per year, which is $8,133 per month, be 70%, 83% in cash and 17% in a bond. And they can again opt out for more.
Prime Minister Mayor-Motley today made a call for fairness and equity as she urged the global community to overhaul the criteria that determines access to goods and credit in the COVID-19 pandemic. She was speaking at a virtual high-level event on financing for development in the era of COVID-19 and beyond, convened by Canada, Jamaica, and the United Nations.
We have many middle-income countries in our region and in fact among the small states of the world. And many of us are excluded from access to concessional funding, even in the midst of this pandemic, when we need access to money to boost our health systems more than ever, when we need access to credit to be able to offset the dislocation that has come from zero revenue from tourism, zero revenue from air travel. And what we are not assured of is early access to rapid tests that will allow our countries to open back up safely and to ensure that our population is not exposed in a way that is injurious to them simply because we want them to have their livelihoods in tourism.
Republic Bank is expected to complete a second round of testing staff at its Broad Street branch for COVID-19 tomorrow. The action comes after a customer who tested positive for the viral illness visited the branch last week. The bank said the first round of tests conducted on Wednesday were all negative. It has, however, extended testing to any staff member who was at the branch over the last 2 weeks. The bank is assuring staff and customers that strict protocols will remain in place to safeguard customers. The development comes as the Ministry of Health recorded the fourth straight day of no new COVID-19 cases. The Best de Santos Public Health Laboratory performed 163 tests yesterday, bringing the total number carried out to 5,201. No one was released from isolation today, so the number of isolated patients remains at 9. So far, 7 people have died from 92 people who have been confirmed with the viral illness, and 76 have recovered.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news, Guyana's President David Granger says he's willing and ready to work with the People's Progressive Party if he is re-elected. More in this report from HGP TV News.
President David Granger said when he assumed office, he reached out to the opposition, the People's Progressive Party Civic, to discuss a form of shared governance.
People hardly recall that I did invite the PPP into talks, but there were some difficulties because of the persons I nominated. I don't want to go into that now. I don't want to start them say who say, she says story.
The president, if re-elected, intends to reach out to the PPP again.
I believe in inclusionary democracy, and the PPP has to be is part of the future of Guyana. I don't want to go through the next 5 years, being resisted by chairmen or elected officials at NDCs who refuse to cooperate with the central government.
But while the president may have good intentions for the other side of the political divide, over the weekend of March 21, General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic Bar Jagyo threatened that should President David Granger return to power, he will not be treated like the president of Guyana, meaning the divide will widen.
And Granger needs to understand that we will treat Air Finale, should he swear in, we'll treat Air Finale as the president of this country.
From all indications, it would appear that the PPP would only accept the outcome of the March 2 elections if it goes their way.
On the international scene, the chief of the Minneapolis police apologizes to the family of an unarmed black man who died this week after a white officer pinned him down with a knee to the neck. 46-year-old George Floyd died on Monday, and since then, protesters have taken to the streets.
What we've seen over the last 2 days and the emotion-ridden conflict over last night is the result of so much built-up anger and sadness. Anger and sadness that has been ingrained in our black community, not just because of 5 minutes of horror, but 400 years. If you're feeling that sadness and that anger, it's not only understandable, it's right. It's a reflection of the truth that our black community has lived. While not from lived experience, that sadness must also be understood by our non-black communities. To ignore it, to toss it out, would be to ignore the values we all claim to have, that are all the more important during a time of crisis. I believe in Minneapolis. I love Minneapolis. And in believing in our city, we must believe that we can be better than we have been.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.